Hey everybody, this is your girl Leona Michelle, and I am faithfully her. So today I have a young woman on with me that I met out volunteering, just learning and coming out of my shell, greeting people. And I met this young lady, and we ended up being in each other's presence more than once. And I just really liked her. I liked her smile. I liked her energy. So I reached out to see if she would be willing to come on and just have a conversation with us. And she said yes. So today I'm so happy to have on an entrepreneur. She is the owner of Women Empowerment Circle, as well as the Breeeazy Love Shop. So everybody, please put your hands together and help me welcome Mrs. Breona Clawson.
Hello, hello, hello.
All right. Hey, Bree.
Hey, how's it going?
And I think that was one of the things that really connected me to you. I think when we first introduced each other and you told me your name was Brianna, and I was telling you I had a Cabbage Patch dog growing up named
Yeah.
Brianna. So I was like, this was meant to be.
Yes. Yes.
So how's it been going, lady?
It's good. Just got back from traveling, so just kind of getting reacclimated to my routine back here at home, but can't complain. Can't complain.
Okay, and another one of the things that we briefly spoke about was you have a condition, and I was telling you about my lupus and how I was losing my hair and everything, and then you shared a story with me also. Would you like to share that again today with us?
Yes, so I suffer from alopecia, so I have a hard time growing my hair, and if I do grow my hair, I have a hard time keeping it, keeping it. So what I did was I just started doing a lot of research. I always have worn wigs, but I just didn't like how wiggy wigs looked for a long time, so I was always trying to find different ways to, make it look more natural to me, and that's when I came up with my business, Breeeazy Love Shop, which is a hair accessory boutique. So that wasn't just something that I threw together to sell accessories. It was actually like my therapy of understanding what alopecia is, how do I live with it, and then what ways I can try and empower other women that may have hair loss as well. So yeah, when we both kind of had that connection, I was like, oh, because for a long time I was like, I can't be the only person going through this, but I felt like that because it seemed like everyone's got this long, beautiful hair. Like, what is going on? So I am starting to meet a lot of individuals that are dealing with alopecia or different forms of hair loss, and it's empowering me even more to talk about my story.
Yes, and and that's the key. You found that pain that you were experiencing. You found a way to manifest it into a purpose, to turn it into something positive that can help somebody else. And I can agree with you on feeling like you're all alone in this,
Hmm.
because when lupus hit me, it hit me later in life. I was in my 30s.
Okay.
So up until then, I had never even heard about it. I didn't even know what the heck lupus was. So I took it as a death sentence. Doctor said lupus, I passed out. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right, right,
I just
right.
immediately passed out. And he was just like, do some research. Now get off my floor and get out of my office.
And
But
no, you saying do research, I think that's a really important thing. I also am kind of going through a fertility journey right now. Me and my husband are wanting to start a family, but it's not as easy for us. So it's like going back to that research and really understanding what is available to us is so important, especially women of color. I think that's super important because I thought, well, I have alopecia, just got to wear wigs. That's that. Where there's actually a lot of different tools that I can use that are still natural and I don't have to jump into, any surgeries or doing any like injections at this time. So I think, like you saying, research is really important. So if anyone watching this, if you're going through, even if it's something that's medical, whatever it is, do your research. It's a lot that you can gain from just sitting down and doing some research on what can help you.
Yes, I was speaking to a young lady a little while ago by the name of Truth, and she is a holistic a Reiki fire energy healer.
Okay.
I think I'm saying that right.
Nope. Yep. I know
Uh,
exactly what you're talking about.
Okay, okay. So, and we were talking about that too when we were talking about medicines and doctors. And we were saying how, it's some doctors will go that extra mile and talk to you
Yes.
about proper diet plan and natural things that you can try and do to help your situation. Whereas other doctors, because their bread and butter is on prescriptions, they're just going to write you a script. They're not going to give
Yep.
you that extra added information. So it's
Yep.
really important that we, as the patient, as the individual, that we honestly sit down and we Google everything else. Google your health as well. You know what I'm saying? Like, we'll Google where to find the flyest pair of shoes, where to do this, where to
Yes.
go there, but we won't sit there and Google best diet for hypertension, or
Yep.
you know what I'm saying? We won't Google those
Yep.
type of things, but we'll Google everything else. So take the time to research and learn about what your symptoms are, your illness is, your condition, and figure out the things that you could do, because I had to do the same thing.
Yep.
Now let me
Yep.
ask you, with your alopecia, was it something that came on later in life, or was it something that had been manifesting since childhood?
Um, I've always had some hair issues, but full blown probably not till about like mid 20s. But I also was diagnosed with PCOS, so that kind of also I knew something wasn't right because I started having weight gain. Because all my life I never had a weight issue, was probably always the smallest person. I started noticing like I'm gaining weight. Like what's going on? I'm like, all right, I gotta chill out on the tacos and all that. But
Right.
really, it wasn't even that. It was okay. I need to go to my doctor to see what's going on because the weight gain is happening so fast. And I'm like, okay, I'm not eating like that where I should be having that much weight gain. And they didn't diagnose me with that, but I still didn't know what that meant. It was just here's your paperwork, this is what you have. It's not anything that's life threatening. However, it is life changing. So, as the years have gone on, it has gotten worse. And then I have moments where it's just completely fine. So, it just depends on the season as well. So, for example, in the summer months, are not as bad. In the winter, because it's dry, it's harsher, drier skin, itchier skin, things like that is what I experience. One thing that I have been working on is trying to go natural products altogether, both eating and what I put on my skin, and that has really changed a lot. I noticed that I'm just really sensitive in general, so the things that are putting in my body was like, like I'm making the symptoms worse because I'm feeding myself things that we really shouldn't be eating on the regular basis.
Right.
You shouldn't consume a lot of alcohol, and you should try to put as much plant-based items into your skin as well. So I did start the journey of not transferring, transitioning my beauty products over to vegan products, and that has been amazing. I was having skin problems, and that's cleared up quite a bit. My scalp, I now do actual like treatments with my scalp at home, more cost effective, and I know exactly what I'm putting on my scalp, so that if I do have a breakout, I can say, okay, these products here are just are no
Right.
go.
Right.
So that's kind of where I'm at with my journey. It continues to grow, and I continue to learn, and yeah.
Now, what is, for the people like me in the room, what is PCOS?
It stands for polycystic ovarian syndrome. So you tend to get like weight gain. You have really, really, really heavy menstrual cycles, which also can be in conjunction with maybe you might see some like fertility issues, and that's what I'm
Okay.
seeing. What happened is I have formed some fibrous tumors. They're not cancerous or anything, thank God.
Mhm.
But it is something that is preventing us from having a child. So the recommended like steps are is to have surgery, or you can do some therapy to shrink the tumors. And so a lot of those things all go together, and it is primarily seen in African American women. Other women can get it, and other women do get it, but it's not nearly as severe. So you'll see the period issues, you'll see the fertility, the weight gain, and they all kind of intertwine together. And it's crazy because for so long I just thought PCOS was like its own thing, and I didn't realize it also is intertwined with alopecia and fertility issues. So they all kind of group together.
Yeah. And I'm happy that you said that because for one, a lot of times we don't recognize that. Like what
Mhm.
my mom, she was a diabetic. Um we are probably the same age when we both had our heart attacks.
Mm.
Like when she had hers and then I had mine, and I think I had mine at the same age she was when she had hers.
What
So
age
we
was
both
that?
had to have the same procedure done with stents and everything. And a lot of the medication that she had to take for her heart and blood pressure and so forth, I'm now taking. So what I've noticed is the same way my mother started losing her hair,
Hmm.
I started losing my hair. Like everything my
Really
mom went through medically, is like I'm a carbon copy of it. I'm going through the
of it,
exact
yeah.
same thing. Um,
Yeah,
but with the weight gain, like I've always been thick. I've always been a curvy girl, always been thick, but I've always managed to lose weight like that. Like if I be like, oh my God, I need to lose 20 pounds, I could drop 20 pounds in 2.5, 3 weeks easy. I
yeah,
had good metabolism or whatever, and I never had that real trouble with my weight. I was always able to balance it. And then I started noticing that it was getting away from me. And the
yep,
things that I used to do to balance it and
yep,
keep me into a certain spot was no longer working.
yep,
And even now with my medical team and everything, and we're all in place and we're all on the same page, and I'm doing everything and making sure and exercising and working out.
yep,
I still see now that when I can lose the weight, but when I get to a certain point, it stops.
yep. It's like a plateau. You just
Yeah,
kind
it won't let me go any lower. And what I'll start really seeing is it'll start back climbing. Like it won't
of,
go over this number, but it won't go under this number either.
yeah,
And it gets so frustrating. And you don't realize how much that is playing in, how much your illness or your condition or whatever it is playing into that part of it as well.
yes.
And if we're unaware, it'll make us depressed as women. And it'll make
I
us
was
feel
I
like
was just getting ready to say that. I was gonna say it plays a mental health. It really plays a big hold on me. Like for me, it's like you're constantly thinking, well, why me? I feel like that's the first question we always ask. It's like, why
yeah.
me? Why me? And it's like if you really, it's your genetics. You have to go back and see what did my like what happened with my mom or what happened with my dad. And I'm finding that out still to this day. What things my mom had issues having kids too. By miracle, she ended up having 4 kids, 2 of them twins. So it's
Oh.
just a matter of taking the time to really get to know your body, get to know your family's history, and then working with those medical professionals to really map out a plan that's going to work for you.
Yeah, and and that's good that you can also identify with the fact that it does affect your behavior, your mental
Hmm.
health. Anytime something is happening with us physically is going to affect us in a mental
Yes,
way. But when you're putting all these efforts in to be the right thing, eat the right thing, do the right things, and then you don't really see the results happening the way you've
exactly.
been used to them or the way you're expecting it, you can get down on yourself. So to my ladies out there that are experiencing these things and your weight is being affected, I can't tell you to not beat yourself up because you're going to do it,
You're
right?
gonna
It's
do
easier
it.
said than done. But just remember that it's not something that you're not doing properly. It's just what's happening to your body, and your body
Right.
is going through a change. And in the process of the change that it's going through, these are the symptoms or the things that's going to happen. You can maintain this, you can get a hold on it, but you can't just don't give up, don't give into it. Stay in
Yes.
the fight with it, stay on top of it, keep trying, keep on your routine and your regimen, and it will balance itself out. It's just going to
Yes.
take some time. because
I
I'm
agree.
still balancing, and I've been living with lupus now for about 10, 15 years now, I want to say. And I'm still trying to find certain balances. Like I love corn. I love corn. Like I should get a sign. I love corn. But I know
I
that
do too.
corn, but corn isn't inflammatory. So,
Yes.
eating corn, it triggers something else that's going to happen inside of me. But do I take the hit some days? Yes, I do. Some days I'm like, you know what? I just feel bad tomorrow, but I'm about to eat this corn today. And
Yeah.
but once
Yeah.
you know that, then you can prepare your body for what's
Yeah.
going to happen as a result of it. So,
Exactly.
do you have those moments where you're just going to eat it anyway?
Yeah. Yeah, I do. Like I know for me I have to watch a lot of spices. I started to kind of write down when I would feel not my best after certain foods. And it's like, "Ooh, it's almost everything I like," and it's like, how do I still get those same flavors that I like, but still be healthy and treat my body good? So that's a journey for me. We actually just signed up for a gym membership because I was like, I got to get into something. And if I know I have to pay for something every month, then I'm going to be more committed to making sure I show up so that that money that I'm spending is being accounted for.
Right.
So I'm super excited for that journey too.
Yay. So that's a good thing. I
Yeah.
also I did the same thing with the same thought. Like if I have to pay this every month, I'm gonna go every month.
Yep.
And then what I find myself doing is I actually work out more at home than I go to the
Mm,
gym. So I'm like, okay, but I don't want to stop paying for the membership because some
yeah.
days I do like to go to the gym.
Yeah.
Like for the weight part of it, I need the gym for that. For the
Well,
cardio,
they say
I can
they
do
say
that anywhere.
swimming is a really good activity. So I love swimming, and so that's what I'm gonna do. Get up
Okay.
5 in the morning, go swim. Not only is it a good workout, but you don't feel like you're putting in like that really strenuous work where if you're running on the treadmill or
Yeah.
something like that. And then for me, it's also just like being in the water just gives me some type of calm peace of mind at the same time. So I'm working on my health, but I'm also working on my mental health at the same time.
Yes. Yes. And I wish I still can't swim.
That's okay. There's a lot of adults that still can't swim. My best friend can't swim.
Okay, well, hey, bestie, you and I will be sitting on the sideline sipping my Okay. You said that you journal. You started
Yes.
keeping a track of the things that you were eating, the products that you were using. I had to kind of do the same thing mentally, but I started doing it with everything. Like I started writing down, I started with my budget. Let's just say that. I started with my budget. I started writing everything that I was spending money on. I don't care if it was just 50 cents. I wrote
Right.
down everything that I was spending money on. And then I went through that list. I did that for like 2 months. And then I went through it and I looked at what could be eliminated. What were frivolous
Yep.
purchases? What were purchases that was just me throwing money away?
Yeah.
And then I started really paying attention to how I was spending my money, and then noticed how I was able to start saving now because I was
Yeah.
able to eliminate the frivolous purchases. And then, as you stated, when you do that as well with the products you put on your skin, the things you put in your body, the foods you eat, and so forth, it helps you better gauge, like you said, what is triggering an
Yep.
episode and what
Yep.
isn't triggering an episode. So
Yep.
even like you said with the products that you use, I do the same thing. Like, I will put, supposed to be an organic or natural product, and I will use it and use nothing but that for like a few
Yep.
weeks to see how it works. And then if I start seeing the splotches coming up, or the inconsistencies and stuff, I'm like, okay,
Yep.
well, we can't use that anymore because it's
Exactly.
creating a problem. So I've gotten it narrowed down to I can only bathe with Aveeno baby wash. Go figure.
Oh,
It's the only
really?
thing the only thing that I can put on, and it doesn't cause irritation, and I don't have bruising or blotching or anything after the fact. So Aveeno baby wash is like the softest, purest thing that I could put on. And even with the makeup, I had to learn about the ingredients that they put into
Yes.
the makeups. And
Yes.
there's an ingredient called titanium dioxide
Yes.
that they put in makeup, and it breaks me out something
It eats
horribly.
my almost like it's eating my skin away.
Yes. Oh my
Yep.
God. It's not just me, girl. It makes you itch. It's red.
Mhm.
It is the worst thing
It is.
ever.
There's a company, if I can insert them really quick.
Hmm.
It's called Eve Organics. They're in Ferndale, Michigan. Great, great woman owned business. And what I like about them is all their products, again, are vegan, animal cruelty free, and their products are good for all shades of colors. And you don't find companies like that,
You don't.
especially locally.
You
So
don't.
I really recommend if you're looking, you can go to their page and they have so much information on how do you apply this. When is it appropriate to wear this kind of makeup? What colors go with your skin tone? And I'm saying all this because they actually were teaching me about different ingredients that we just don't really think about, but really they're doing so much damage. These things should not be in products for your skin. These are things that we use for like harsh things or harsh chemicals, and it's like, well, why is this in our makeup that we're putting so close to like
Right.
our eyes and our mouth? So again, Eve Organics is really great. It's woman owned. It is local. So if you're looking for makeup that really is good for you and actually does its job, check them out. And they also have a skincare routine. Excuse me. When the pandemic started and we needed to wear a mask, my face just better lack of words went to crap. And I
Right.
couldn't figure out how to get a handle on it. Instead of this company just pushing product, it was very educational. Hey, this is what's happening with your skin. This is what you need to do. Hey, I just watched a video. You're exfoliating way too much. You need to do less exfoliation, or you need to just completely strip everything and go clear and then start the new product. So, I that was just a lifesaver because nothing is worse than you trying to put on this nice makeup but you don't feel nice, so then it's not
Yeah.
doing the job, right?
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
again, Eve Organics is a really good brand. Is it more expensive? Yes, but you got to remember what you pay for is what you get. The more you invest, the better the quality is going to be.
Yes. And let me just say your skin is beautiful.
Thank you, thank
Beautiful,
you,
beautiful skin.
thank you, thank
And
you.
I like the fact that you're saying that they educate and they have shades
Yeah,
for all colors, because a lot of
all
times with
colors.
these vegan brands that you see in the more popular stores like your
Yes.
Ulta or your, so those popular stores, they don't have shades for me.
Right.
They don't cater to
Darker
my
skin. Yep.
deep darkness, or and it was saying it, like if I
Yep.
was a lighter skinned black woman, then yeah, I could probably get away with it. But being a darker
Yes.
skinned black woman, they don't always cater to us and our skin
Correct.
tones and so forth. So the fact that you're saying that this particular company does, I'm gonna
Yep.
definitely check them out. Definitely.
Yeah, you will see if you go to their page. I was a part of their launch of those new products. So I went in and she actually made my skin tone foundation on the spot. So she's making it
Oh
based off of
wow.
real life people. So when you go to their website, you will see a person that will look just like you, no matter what color you are. You can click on that, and then it will give you the description of like this is a warm tone, or like what you need to use and what color it is. So I highly recommend it.
Oh, definitely. And I would let them know you sent me. So
Thank you, thank you.
definitely tell them to give you a discount. Now,
Yes, influencing at its finest, right?
right. Okay, so I don't know how far you want to go into this particular topic, and we don't have to if you don't want to. I know you said that, you're on a fertility journey now.
Mhm.
How long have you been trying?
So we've been together 12 years. We've been married 4 years. So we've been trying for the past about 3 years. And
Okay.
it wasn't, and if I'm being completely honest, and this is why I say it's so important to do your research. If I started my research earlier, I probably would have been able to get some more answers a little bit quicker. So this past year has really been when we're like, okay, we know we want to start a family. We know that there's something going on here. I think it's more than just this PCOS. Let's take the next step and let's go to an actual specialist. So we went ahead and went to the specialist through Henry Ford here in Dearborn, and that's where they explain, hey, you have these fibrous tumors. Here are the next steps, which is surgery. At first, I'm like, oh God, like surgery. Who wants to do surgery? But it's a
Right.
very minor procedure, laparoscopic procedure. So it's very, very same day you can go home type of thing. So that process, now we are on about month 2 of this process. And the reason why it's taking a little bit longer, in my opinion, is just because there's a holdup with getting appointments as fast as we would like, just across the board. So our next step now is I have to go in for an MRI to just kind of check and see if that's the only thing, just double checking. If there's any other blockage. And after that, we would, in that same appointment, talk about, this is the surgery that you would get. This is how long recovery is. This is when you can begin to start working on your having a child, and this is how long of a window it should take for you to see some results. So, um,
Okay.
we're hoping within this, by the, hopefully, fingers crossed, by the end of this year, maybe more a little bit into the first couple months of the year, we should be able to have some good news. Hopefully,
Well, we are going to speak that into existence, blessings
thank
on
you,
top of blessings. I
thank you.
know it's a lot of women out here who are struggling with fertility. Um, a member of my family went through it, and they had she had some heart issues, and so they had to do a lot of different things to get her body
Hmm.
ready for it. And
Yep.
now they just celebrated the baby 3-year birthday. So you know what I'm saying, it is possible, it
It
will
is.
happen, you can
Yeah.
do it. I know that it takes time and it could be frustrating. And
Yep.
one of the things I would do with that family member is I would try to remember her doctor appointment dates. So I can always
Okay.
make sure I was on the phone to say,
Okay.
hey, don't smile, it's going to be okay. Like, don't get
Yep.
discouraged. You know what I'm saying? And just
And
kind of help
stuff
keep their
like that
spirits
really
up.
means a lot. That really means a lot. At least for me, it would. Because a lot of times, when people ask, because we've been together for so long, the first, when are you going to have kids? When are you going to have kids? And you're just kind of like, we would if
Yeah.
we didn't have this kind of blockage. So when you do meet individuals like people like you who understand and are more so, how can I help you, or how can I be there for you, that goes a long way. Because and I know most people don't mean anything by it, but it's just like, oh man, now I've got to either talk about my whole process with them or just be like, one day, and just
Right.
keep it moving. So it hasn't been something I've talked about too much, but I'm now in a comfortable place where I do want to talk about it. Because I know for me, if I don't talk about it, it just gets built up, built up, built up, and then you have that big release, which for
Yeah.
some people can be anger, some people it can be crying spells. For me, it's depression. So I want to avoid that. So having the opportunity to talk about my journey on platforms such as this is like super, super therapeutic for me as well.
Yeah, and it's going to help a lot of other women who are in the same situation but afraid to say it.
Yeah.
Or and let me just throw this in before we move on to the next thing. We as women, and I think society has really really done this to us. Since the beginning of time, we've been told that our job is to marry and have babies. That's
Hmm.
what make you a woman, right?
Hmm.
The woman's role is to make the man happy and give him
Hmm.
babies, and
Hmm.
so his name can live forever.
Ever.
Right?
Yeah.
That's
Yeah.
what they tell us. That's our sole purpose. And then when we find ourselves in a situation where we struggle and we can't just produce that baby, it's
Yeah.
not as easy for us as it might be for another woman. And we have to go through these medical hurdles and situations to get to that point of delivering. We as the women, I think what it makes us feel like we're less than. It makes
Yes.
us feel like we're broken, like something is wrong with my body, something is wrong with me. I can't give the baby, I can't, and i
Yeah.
I would really just want to encourage my women, don't be, don't speak those words into your head. Like, don't let it come out. And I know it's hard, it's easy for me to sit here and say don't do that, than it is
Yeah.
to actually not do it. But put those affirmations up and keep reminding yourself that you are a beautiful woman, you are God's creation, you are
Yes.
fine just the way you are. And so what? I didn't, not everybody does everything at the same rate. You know what I'm saying?
Right.
I
Yeah.
still don't know geometry. Okay, but does that mean that I'm a horrible person or I'm less valuable or anything like?
Right.
No, it just means like, hey, it's gonna take me a little bit longer to understand what these right angles are. You know what I'm saying? And I
Yeah.
know that's like a juvenile analogy, but I want my women to understand that it's okay. It's okay that your body is taking a little bit longer to
Yes.
produce this. It's okay. You're not broken. You're not damaged. You're not something to be thrown away. You are valuable. You are loved. You
Mhm.
are everything because you are a woman. And without you, there is no life. Okay. Whether it
Exactly.
takes you 20 years to produce it or not, without you, there is no life. So
Yep.
embrace who you are as a woman and don't let the fact that this process that this is now a part of your life. This process is now a part of your life. It doesn't demean it. If anything, it makes you stronger
Yes.
because now your body is going through something that my body probably can't do. You know what I'm saying? And it
Yeah.
shows how strong you are. It shows your commitment to motherhood. And it's a lot of women out here who have babies easy and are not mothers. And the fact that
Man.
you
Can
are
you say that again?
There's a lot of women out here dropping these kids like flies, baby, and are not mothers.
Yes.
And that's real.
Yes.
So the fact that
Yes.
you're going through, you're putting your body and your mental health and, through all of this to have that child, to be a mother to that child, then that right there speaks volumes as to who you are as a woman.
Thank you.
So
Thank
for
you.
all of those people that are thinking like, oh, she's broken, or oh, I didn't marry a broken one. No, you didn't.
Yeah.
You married one of the strongest ones of us. Okay. So
I love that.
kudos to you, my sister. I applaud you.
Thank you. Thank you.
I do. And I wish you so much, well, so much in your journey. And I know you're
Thank
gonna
you.
have this little beautiful baby, and she's gonna have your cheekbones. He or she. I'm sorry, I just gave you a girl out of nowhere.
No, we need a
But
girl. We need a girl.
okay.
Team girl. Team girl.
Yes,
But
okay.
no, any it doesn't
So
matter if it's a girl or a boy. Any healthy baby is all right by me.
right. So let me ask you, your husband in this, because a lot of women don't always have that supportive husband because a
Right.
lot of men are saying those exact same things. You're broken,
Yes.
it's because of you, so forth and so on. How has your husband been with you during this particular time?
Amazing. Amazing. He's very patient, very understanding. Pretty much anything I need that he can get or be a part of is right there. We're both working hard at like just understanding what the process is, understanding what is fibrous tumors. Um, I have no complaints. I think it's also interesting because we're also learning more about our family history through this as well. Um, to understand like our, what kind of things could we be passing on to our kids? And we personally think that that's important to understand like the family medical history. So this has been it's been a interesting journey, but it's also been bringing us even closer together. We're always together. We're really close, but it's bringing us even closer together because now we're starting to understand what does it mean to build a family now. So I'm excited.
And and that is so good. And I'm happy to hear that your husband is a supportive partner, and he's as much invested in this process as you are, because that's, it's a difficult process. And if you don't have a good mate that is willing to understand your emotional roller coaster, the hormones
Mhm.
and everything that comes along with the
Yes.
injections and this and that. And, if they don't understand that, then it could create tension. But the
Yes.
fact that he's researching with you and he's learning with you, he's growing with you, he's a part of the process every step of the way. I think that
Yes.
that is wonderful. So let's give him a round of applause.
Yeah.
Yay to the spouses that are supportive.
Yes. He's my best friend, so it's been amazing. And it's also a kind of a culture thing. I'm African American, he's white, so there's a lot of differences of the things that we have in our family and our culture that we are uh that we could get as far as medical things versus what his family could have and get and things like that. So that's been a big learning area too, because again, it's just two different cultures coming together. So we have two different medical histories to really think about too. So that has been an interesting journey too.
Yeah, I can imagine. And it sounds interesting.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
let's get into how do we get to women empowerment circle? What is it? What does it stand for, and how did we get there?
Yeah, so Women Empowerment Circle is a social media agency. I created this back in 2019. I originally just made it. I had made some local friends in the area, and we all wanted to do vendor events. And vendor events, if you've ever done them before, is a place where you can showcase your products or your services to the community, to gain a new audience, set out new arrivals to see how they do in the market, etc. But we were noticing that there were some scammers, unfortunately. So I created a group just to have a place like, hey, these are some vendor events I went to. These are safe. Passing it along to you guys if you want to try, or hey, this person's not reputable. Don't do it. Here's some motivation, and kind of just that's how the group kind of functioned at first. Then the pandemic hit, right? And mental health was like everywhere. And
Yeah.
I felt that I wanted to talk about mental health. I've worked in behavioral health, so I have a lot of experience with that and understanding it and working through it. And then, of course, my own mental health things that I go through, because I am a big believer in therapy. I'm actively in therapy and I talk about it. So I started to change that group around and really push out a lot of mental health content. I wasn't looking to make any sales. I was looking to make sure that my community was okay.
Amen.
As time went on, I started to get questions about business. How are you running a boutique? How did you do this? How did you find this, etc. So I said, okay, how can I do all these things in one place? And Women Empowerment Circle started to evolve into this business hub. Obviously, the main focus is social media, how to use it for your business. But then we also take a step into like business systems and the steps that you should have or understand for your business to be successful. What does inventory look like for you? What social media platforms work for you? Do you know what does it mean to have a workflow in your business? So all of those things are covered within Women Empowerment Circle. And then on Sundays we take a step back and we talk about mental health. What is self-care? How do we practice it? And what are the tools that you can use in your toolbox? Um, the way you can find us is we're on social media through TikTok. I'm trying to think of all the places. TikTok, Facebook, and Instagram, and it's just Woman Empowerment Circle. There may be like a one or a zero after it. It just depends on the platform, and I can give all those links to you afterwards.
Yes, definitely, because we would definitely be putting those in the description box. So if you are someone who's looking to start a business but don't know how, maybe
Yep.
you're like me and you're a year into your business and you still are trying to you're still tweaking things, you're still learning, you're
Yes.
still trying to develop it. It's a great place to go. And a lot of times I just read the comments, and I'll read through and be like, oh, that's some good information. And I'll jot information down, and I'll hit like and keep moving. But so it's a great place to get free information,
Yes.
because you have a lot of business consultant agencies or agencies that say, oh, we can get your business up and running. We can do everything for you, your website, your this, that. And then they present you with a $5,000 bill. And you're like,
Yes.
what the heck just happened to my
Yeah.
life? Like, baby, if I had $5,000, I wouldn't need you. You know what I'm saying?
Right, right.
On that level or something. And so when you find a group of people who are willing to share and willing to give you that type of advice and that guidance to steer you in the right direction, is really important that you grab onto that and that
Yeah.
you value that information, because that information costs a lot. Like, I know another lady who does business consultings, and I think she charges like $500 an hour.
Ooh, Lord.
Yeah, like 500
Ooh,
bucks an
Lord.
hour to sit down to talk to you about, oh, you need a business plan, you need this, you need. So if it takes her an hour to tell you the 5 things that you need, you just gave her $500. And if you can save a little bit on that cost by going to someone like Breonna's social media women's empowerment circle group and ask that same question, to say, hey, so I started my LLC. I don't know what to do next. And to get
Right.
somebody like Breonna to type in and say, file for your EIN. Like, that was so simple,
Yeah.
right? Like, would you
Yeah.
rather get it that way, or do you want to pay the 500 an hour? And I'm not trying to take business away from each other, from
Right.
anyone. I'm just saying, for people like me that's on a budget, and you work 10 hours a day, and that check pays for everything: your roof over your
Exactly.
head, your business, your wants, your don't wants, and everything else. You want to try to conserve those funds as much as possible and get as
Yeah.
much information as you can for the least amount. And
I'm a
Brittany
firm
is
I'm a firm
offering
believer that you should know how to do the task before you task them out. So a lot of the content that I put in that group is, yes, these are services that I offer and that I can do for you at a charge. However, you should know how to do it and make that decision on your own, whether you want to keep doing it yourself or if you want to task out. And I think that's kind of like the difference between my group and maybe other social media groups is, you have to watch out because there's always going to be something free that they're giving you
mhm,
with the end goal that you're gonna buy
buy
something.
something. Yeah.
Mine isn't. I'm not expecting anyone to book a service, or I'm not expecting anyone to buy a product. I genuinely want everyone to win, because if the more people winning, the more our community is going to flourish and the more it's going to benefit us as a whole.
Yes. See, that's why I like this young lady, okay? Because I feel the same way. Like, even with doing this platform, I've been asked, why don't you charge your guests? And I'm like, why would I charge them? They're doing me a solid. They don't have to come
Mhm.
on. They could say no. So why would I charge for that? You know what I'm saying? Like, no,
Yeah.
come on, let's have a conversation. And
Yes.
I don't feel the need to charge for that. And then, it was, well, you're doing this website now, and you're putting together this newsletter. You should charge for people to subscribe to the newsletter, or charge people to advertise through your newsletter. And then again, I'm like, yeah, that's a great idea. And I get that it would make me money. But these are people that I've already had on my show, that I'm featuring on the
Mm-hmm.
newsletter. I'm not going to charge them because they didn't have
Mm-hmm.
to say yes. So for
Right.
me, I feel like it's a bonus or added service for the guest to say,
Yes.
okay, yes, we're on this platform and we get to talk about it. But guess what else I'm going to do? Because I want your business to grow. I want people to know you. I want people to come into your shop or click on your website and view what you have to offer. I want to
Yes.
showcase you, and I feel like that's part of what the purpose is for me. The purpose for me is to just do whatever I can to show that our community is more than the picture that they paint of us.
Mm-hmm.
We're
Mm-hmm.
more than what the news has told us that we are.
Mm-hmm.
we're more than what generations upon generations have put us into that box of. We're more than that. We're an educated people, and we
Hmm.
are beautiful, and we are brilliant, and we are doing so many enriching things that's
Yeah,
not being highlighted. And I just want to
exactly.
highlight the enriched, what we're doing in the positive light. So I don't want to charge people. Like
Yeah,
I don't want to charge for that. Like I can afford the internet bill. It's not going to
yeah,
change. You know what I'm
yeah,
saying? Like it's
yeah.
not going up because we're sitting here having this conversation. It is what it
Right,
is. You know what
right,
I'm saying? So
right.
yeah, I just don't feel comfortable with that aspect of it.
Exactly.
Yeah.
It
So
should
I
always be
definitely
that
want that.
person's choice, in my opinion. I don't ever want someone to feel like I could really use this, but it's just not in my budget. Uh, Everybody's budget is going to be different, and it's just a matter of what content can I create that no one feels pressured, and then they can just take it and use it as they need it. You know.
Yeah, because I know a lot of your morning quotes and daily affirmations that you have posted has been like, oh my God, I needed that this morning
Oh,
because I was
wonderful,
not
wonderful.
feeling it. Like, you wake up some mornings and you like, oh, I just don't feel like
Yep.
moving.
Back
And
to
then
bed. Back to
right,
bed.
and I'll do like my little morning prayer, my meditation, and I'm trying to get my juices flowing. And then I'll go over and I'll be like, oh, let's see what Breona posted today. And you're like, you can do it. And I'm like, yes,
Yes.
I can.
Yes.
And it's
Yes.
like that little extra something to say, okay, I'm ready to take on the day. I got this. So
Yay.
I
That
appreciate
makes my heart full.
yeah, I appreciate it. Like I'm an avid follower of the people that I have on the show. I'm a fan of the people that I have on my show. I pay attention to what they're doing. I learn from them and I commend them. And the majority of the people on my show are women. So let's give a shout out to the beautiful women out here in the world making it
Yay.
rock.
I
Yes,
love it.
Black girl magic.
Yes. Yes.
And so with your Breeeazy Love Shop, do you have any? I see headbands and stuff behind you.
Yeah.
Are those some of the pieces that you're selling on your shop? And is it just the website or is it a place where they could come into?
So Breeeazy Love Shop is an online hair accessory boutique, so everything is online. However, I do offer different ways for people to shop. So, like I said, I have the website, which is for kind of like my friends, my family, and those who just love hair accessories. And then I also have like a whole wholesale side of it for business to business, and that's utilized through fair.com because I really enjoy utilizing or not utilizing, I really enjoy having my products shared with other businesses. It doesn't just have to be a Breeezy Love Shop thing. It can be everybody should be able to love a headband that matches their mood, etc.
Yes.
So I do that. And then I also do pop-up shops, and I do that all over the Metro Detroit area. I kind of slowed down a little bit just because I haven't found the right ones that were like um, for my specific niche. But now with the holiday season, I've identified a couple of different places, so I'll be back to doing pop up shops. And I like doing pop up shops because it allows me to actually meet my audience and it allows people to actually meet me, the owner. And just kind of, I always do some type of new arrival or sneak peek at my table. And then I also am currently working on my products being featured in local stores around here.
Yes. Great job. I am so proud of you. You are doing the dang on
Thank
thing.
you, thank
I
you,
am so proud of you,
thank
and
you.
I cannot wait to come and visit you at one of your pop-up shops. Because as
Yes,
many times as we've seen each other, I haven't been to one of your events.
yes, yes. I will be at Rochester Hills, and all the details will be on my page.
Okay.
Because I'm forgetting the name of the actual location, but it's in Rochester Hills. That's on October 29th. I'll be there all day. That is also the same weekend that my fall collection drops, so I'm going to be having my fall collection items available for people to see in person. So yeah, come on out. The best way, like I said, is to go to the website, join our newsletter, and you'll stay connected with everything we're doing, where we're at. You'll get your coupon books for every collection that drops, which I highly recommend. So
Okay.
yeah, there's a lot of good stuff that's coming. I'm also currently working with actual hair stylists so they can actually give valuable content for people with all different types of hair. There's products out in the market that people are not too familiar with that they should be aware of, such as like Oplex. I just got some new products you see in those boxes right there from a brand. It's a black brand, woman-owned brand in London, all the way in London. And I'm trying to introduce her products. They're all vegan, and again, just some more natural products that I really think that individual can use, not just for your hair, but it's actually really good on synthetic blend wigs, human hair wigs, which is huge because we got to treat our wigs just like it's our hair, right?
Yes.
And I know I was someone who I'm just putting the wig everywhere and not brushing it, and it's looking crazy. Or when you wear your synthetic blends, you kind of start to, and you can kind of see it with this wig. It starts to get a little ratty at the bottom.
Uh-huh.
There's just different tools that we can use now to revive those wigs so you really get a bang for your buck. And I'll be doing more content about that too.
All right.
Yeah.
Good. I love that. I love that. And just sitting here listening to you, you have inspired me. Like I see wheels just turning all up in here. And I'm like, oh, I gotta write that down.
Yes.
Yes, I love that. I wanted to, I was going to ask you what you had coming up soon, and you just let us know about
Yeah.
the fall collection dropping October 29th in Rochester Hills.
Mhm. Yeah.
When you get that information, please send it to me so I can make sure I
Okay.
repost it and
Okay.
add it to my social media platform as well, so we could kind of help generate as much as we can as far
Wonderful.
as eyes on you. Okay.
Yeah, if I can mention for Women Empowerment Circle, I actually have the wonderful opportunity. The Waterford Chamber of Commerce has asked me to come back and host some classes. So we are starting this off, kicking it off this month. So on October 5th and October 19th, I will be at the Waterford Chamber of Commerce from 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. And we are going to do a class called Content Creation for Your Business. So I did this class maybe about a couple months ago, and it was really beneficial. Again, just a great way to talk about the platforms that are available, talk about what the platforms are, and then in these classes, we're going to dive more into like what is Canva, how can you use Canva for your business. We're going to talk about getting ready for the holiday season because it's here. It's here, and we got to
Mhm.
show up for it. So those classes are free, and anyone is welcome to come out and join those classes so you can learn more about content creation for your business.
Awesome. That is awesome. Awesome,
Thank
awesome,
you.
awesome. And that's 8 to 9 p.m. or is that an 8?
It is 8 a.m. to 9 a.m. It is an early bird one, but
Okay.
most people need to get up and get at them, so we figured that's a great way to kind of hit the ground running for your day.
Yes, it is. I'm so super excited for all that you're doing. And, it looks like the more that you're doing, the more you're becoming recognized.
Yes, thank you so much.
With the Waterford Chamber of Commerce, I'm sure that there's going to be an
Yeah.
award somewhere coming with that one, a
I
plaque or
hope. I
something,
hope.
right?
I hope it's a great opportunity to to be recognized and just asked from such a great entity to do this for the fellow members and possible future members. Because I am a member with them, and it's been nothing but beneficial. And I highly recommend joining your local chamber of commerce for your business because the amount of networking that you can do is well worth it. The events that they host that you can be a part of. So I'm just excited to be a part of that. You don't have to join specifically Waterford. However, find the one that's in your area, go to their orientation, see if it's something that works for you. Like I said, the networking is just out of this world. You meet amazing people, and you may even find collaborations such as I did that are really going to help you expand your audience or be able to maybe have that missing piece that you need for your business to go to the next level via another business. So if you can, go ahead and you got to invest in your business. So, be smart about what you're investing in. One of those things could be getting a membership to your local chamber.
Yes, and I've never even thought of that. So that
Hmm.
is such great information
Yeah.
to know, as far as even that's something that you can do,
Yes.
just as a regular citizen.
Yep.
So okay, that's good to know. Before
Yeah.
I do get into our next round, you mentioned that you have experience with behavioral health,
Yes.
and I am also a behavioral health therapist. Um, and so I just wanted to know, what area did you work in, or do you work in with that?
Yeah, so my first experience, I actually worked at a place that was for traumatic brain injured individuals. And so that's where I first started working in the healthcare business. I decided to try every single position to understand what I really wanted to do. So I did the receptionist, and then I became a direct care worker. Was not for me. I did it because I felt it was important to really understand who are the forefront of a lot
Mm-hmm.
of the agencies. And
Mm-hmm.
I commend direct care workers because you guys are in the thick of it. It's just not for me. So I did that for a couple years and was like, I feel like for me, I can do something else that can be empowering for the residents. I got to work as a therapeutic recreational aide, and that just kind of changed my whole view of everything. And that's when I realized, ooh, I want to do social work. Um, so I started to just ask questions. I started to ask if I could shadow people. And so every time I was told yes. And so that's how I started to build my experience. Then I started to work at a different agency that specialized specifically in behavioral health for individuals who are moderate to severely mentally ill. And I'm speaking about individuals that have committed murders that would be deemed as maybe heinous, or
Okay.
um, that you and I may say, why would someone do that?
Mm-hmm.
But there was that mental illness that played a big role. Um, I got very lucky and was able to work as their recreational aide there as well on the clinical team. I don't have a degree or anything. Everything is just pure experience and asking a lot of questions. And in that job, I learned so much. I learned patience. I learned what does it mean to feel like you are a prisoner in your own mind,
Mm-hmm.
because a lot of the individuals were suffering from schizophrenia,
Mm-hmm.
bipolar, manic depression. I mean, you name it, that's who
Mm-hmm.
we were dealing with.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I loved it, but I did get burned out. I got burnt out, and then that's when I decided to take the journey of entrepreneurship. So um, that's
Okay.
kind of where my experience is. And then my parents work in the field. My parents have been entrepreneurs ever since I have been born, and they own AFC homes, and they have always been a part of trying to help the problem of severe mental illness in the Detroit area.
Yeah. And and see that connection, Breona. I started off as a direct care worker,
Okay.
working in the 90s. My first introduction into the mental health arena was through a direct care worker in a group home, in
Hmm.
an adult home. And it was with men, and they all had, various levels of a mental health issue, from schizophrenia, manic depression, so forth. And so, yeah, that was my first introduction, and it was an experience, to
Yeah.
go carry. It's an experience when you're in the homes with them, and you are
Different.
responsible for getting them up in the morning. They have to
Hmm.
get dressed, you have to get them breakfast, you have to get their meds, you have to get them to their day program, and so forth. And their checks come and there's an allowance that's given, and
Hmm.
who you got to watch them because they'll run to that liquor store. You know what I'm saying?
Fast, fast, before you can even blink.
Right. Right. And then you have a whole nother personality to deal with.
Yeah.
I can remember we had like a safe room
Mm.
where we as the workers had to get to if one of the residents were in a violent state or
Yeah.
rage or whatever. And I just remember it was always on those paydays on their
Always.
on that allowance
Always.
day.
Well, I learned that money is a trigger for a
Mhm.
lot of the patients that that I was seeing. Money was a trigger because if you look at the big picture, they don't hold their own money. They
Right.
are told in so many words. I mean, if you've worked in that field, you know that there's some people who have like behavior plans, and so they have to follow this behavior plan where
Yeah.
they may only can get a couple of dollars because of some past substance abuse that they have had, or they just don't have that ability to understand that that $5 should go towards that deodorant you may need, and not
Yeah. Yeah.
something that is gonna cause you to get in trouble.
Right.
So I learned that money, woo, because I was responsible for all the residents' money for a while, and I'm just like, I needed to understand everybody else's story and not just think like, well, it's only this much money, so what's the big problem?
Right.
You know what I mean?
Right.
So it was just really getting to understand the people where they're at, and not as a number or as what their story is on paper.
And it's you said that and it made me realize, like, yeah, I didn't really start looking into the backstories
Hmm.
until I started doing case management work at a mental health clinic. And in that role, people talk to you more.
Yes.
And honestly, in real talk, in all honesty, working in at that mental health clinic, it did a lot for me. It my lupus was here, my face was changing, my skin tone and everything, and it made me get out of my own head about my own issue, because here I am seeing other people whose issue is far worse than just some skin problems.
Yeah.
Girl,
Yeah.
throw some makeup on and keep it moving. This baby got a
Yeah.
real issue over here. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah.
So it made me stop looking and feeling sorry for myself for that. Um, it also made me look at my biological mother differently.
Mm.
Whereas I was harboring this, why couldn't she get clean for her kids? So,
Mm.
that was more
Mhm.
important than her kids was. Why,
Mhm.
you know what I'm saying? The street life, the drugs, the alcohol, whatever she was doing, why was that more
Yeah.
important than your kids? Why didn't your kids
Mhm.
matter more? Why couldn't you put that down and hold your baby? You know what I'm saying? Like I
Yeah.
felt that way, real talk, and I can't even deny that. I felt like that. I felt like, why wasn't her children enough to bring her out of
Yes.
that, to be a parent,
Yes.
the parent
Yeah.
that they needed.
Yes.
And then working in as a case manager, and even when I started working with the foster care system, I just started seeing these people's stories differently. I started
Yep.
listening different. And so when I started listening different, I started understanding different. And it
Yes.
made me understand that what my biological mother was going through was an addiction.
Yes.
And as much as she may have wanted to come out of it, that addiction had a
Mhm.
holder, had a
Had a
bigger
hold on
grip
her.
on her
Yeah.
than her kids at that moment. You know what I'm saying? And it
Yeah.
doesn't say that she didn't love her children. It didn't say she didn't want to be there for her children. It doesn't negate any of that. It just says, like, this is an addictive problem. This is a
Yep.
chemical imbalance. This is something that is a fight, like a real fight to overcome. But it took me to
Yes.
work with other people in that situation, seeing their struggles and their journeys and the things that they may have endured from childhood that created this problem,
Hmm.
to actually understand it.
Yep.
And yeah. I don't even know why I said all of that, but I guess
Oh no, it's fine.
that
We keep it real. It made, like that's the same feeling for me. It's seeing and for me, I was dealing with individuals, like I said, were more on the severe side. So I'm, just to give some content, I'm dealing with people who were doing a lot of self-harm or things of that nature. So for me, being new, being young, I'm like, why? Like, why would anyone want to do that? But then when you start to, it's like an onion, we start to peel those layers back,
yeah,
and you realize it's not that there's triggers, there's trauma that hadn't been dealt with for so long, and then it just kept happening and happening in
yeah,
different ways,
yeah,
that now the only coping skill for that individual that made sense based off of what they were going on dealing with mentally was to hurt themselves, because it gave an instant release for them that felt good.
yeah,
I had to learn all of that and understand that I have to meet everybody where they are, because everybody's story is different. What everybody goes through is different, and
mm-hmm,
how everyone is able to process it. That's where, social workers come in, therapists come in to help give those tools, because how you process it is where we kind of get in trouble, right? It's
yeah,
I got this information given to me, and I don't know what to do with it, and I don't know how to um, you know, deal with it in a way that looks, in the eyes of society, that's positive, right?
yeah.
Um, so yeah,
Yeah, but and it's just funny because sometimes, when we're young and we're growing, we don't think of things like that.
right.
We just see it and we're like, you know what I'm saying? But then
Yeah.
when you
Well, and
when
we're
you're
seeing we're seeing now more and more that it is very important to have communication. We're seeing kids that are just being exposed to so much more than what I feel like we were exposed to
yes,
when we were
Lord.
younger, and they have to deal with a lot more at such a young age.
Mm-hmm.
Not, I'm just like the people I come in contact with, my own nephews, my own nieces, like, wow, like I feel like when we were growing up, we had our stuff we had to deal with, don't get me wrong, but it
Right.
was not the same kind of issues that we're dealing with, that add on such great mental health distress.
I think
Um,
the biggest thing for me was I knew who my bullies were.
yeah,
We went to school together. We were face to face. We were
yep,
neighbors. We lived around the corner. You know what I'm
exactly.
saying? And we can push and shove and play the
Yeah,
dozens or whatever, and still come back outside and play tic tac toe together or
exactly.
hopscotch or jump rope or whatever.
Yeah,
Now these kids are dealing with bullies that's on another side of a screen.
yes,
So you
yeah,
don't even know who your attacker is. You don't know anything about this person. And really, this person doesn't even really know anything about you. But
exactly.
they're sitting here and they're just saying all types of negative and horrible, ugly things all day. And that, if you allow that, it can seep in your head. I remember
Yeah,
when I first started doing this, I did an episode called Peeling Off the Mask. And I did it with no makeup and everything. And I just wanted people to see me for my naturalness.
yeah,
And I was in that video, I discussed, my journey and just the whole process of it. After I did that, a relative actually said, "Don't you ever in your life go on TV with your face out like that again. That is horrible.
mm.
Nobody wants to see all of that."
Mm-mm.
And I remember I was so hurt. Like I was like, she hurt my feelings, like for real,
Yeah,
for real. And I remember calling my son and I was telling him, and he said, he said, "Mom, the first thing I'm going to say is you have to have a tough skin in this business." He said,
yeah,
if you're going to be on a platform with social media, anything with social media, you have to have a tough skin. He said, people are going to say some of the ugliest things in the world to you, but you have to remember that these people don't even know you. And
exactly.
if they can find something ugly in the message that you delivered, that's not you, that's them. He said, that's
Yeah,
the ugly that lives inside of them,
yes,
because your message was beautiful. It was inspiring. He said, I was so proud of you because that was the first time you unveiled yourself like that. He
Mhm.
was like, you the type of person, if the mailman come to the door and knock on the door with a package, you gonna hide your face because you don't have your makeup on and you don't want him to see.
Yeah.
You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying? He's like, you're the type of person, like, if you're gonna run to the corner store, you're gonna be completely covered, or you're gonna send somebody else for you because you don't want nobody to see your face like that. He was like, so for you to sit there and reveal all of that, that showed a beauty
Hmm.
in you that I had never seen before. So he said, so you have to take what people say and pick and choose it. You have to
Yes.
know what to throw away and what to keep. So if somebody
Yep.
is telling you that that video was horrible, it was ugly, you shouldn't do it, that's somebody you have to disregard.
Yep.
You have to
Yep.
disregard those comments, disregard that person, and know that that person is not coming from a place of love. They're coming from a place of
Right.
ugliness that lives
Eight.
within them, and it has nothing
Hmm.
to do with you. So babies nowadays have to deal with social media like that. And babies don't always have tough skin. You know what I'm saying? Like, and when I say babies,
Oh
I'm
yeah.
talking about this younger generation. They don't
Yeah.
always have that tough skin. They don't know to have that tough skin. So when they hear things like that, it just hurts.
It
And
does.
they internalize it and it sits
Hmm.
with them and it continues to break them down. So they
Hmm.
really need to have a place to be empowered, and a place where they can voice their concerns and those hurt feelings that they're facing
Exactly.
in a safe
And we're
place.
having our youth is more sensitive because I know
Way more
growing up
sensitive
on
than we were.
TV, we went through that phase of like every dude's got to be hard. They can't cry. They can't this. They can't do
Right.
that. So now we're in a space where it's humans. We cry. It's okay. We don't.
Right.
It doesn't have to be gender specific. If you cry, everybody cries because we all
Yeah.
have emotions and we have to let it out. So I think that's also the biggest difference is what we um, pair like masculinity with now. If you cry, you're not masculine. If you're tough, then you don't have any soft side to you, and
Yeah.
the whole spiel.
Yeah.
And if anyone's seeing this and your child is going through it, just remember you have those conversations to let them know that they are amazing and that they're special because they are, and they just need to hear those words to be able to go out there in the real world to know who they are and know their worth.
Yes. 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 There's an organization, I'm sorry, Empowered Flower Girl, who
Okay,
is actually
write that
doing
down.
who's actually has a symposium or something. I think that's the word. I think that's the word she used. A symposium or a seminar that she's actually putting on October the 8th. And it's because it's anti-bully month. October is
Okay.
also anti-bully month.
Yep.
So she and with her organization, she deals with the youth in the community and she teach them how to communicate. So yeah, so and she one of the things she was saying that she does is she have all the kids write out questions anonymously, put them in a bucket, and then they just kind of pass the bucket around and people put questions out. So you might be answering my question, I might be answering your question. You know what I'm saying? And it helps them because it's coming from their peers. The responses that they're
Mm,
getting is from
I like
people of
that.
their same age, and they learn how to communicate and talk through the issues that's going on. They learn that, okay, yeah, Sally was bullying me, but today I found out that Sally's parents are getting a divorce and
Mm,
Sally isn't taking it well. So she
mm.
is projecting. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
So it kind
Yep.
of makes you look at the bullying a little bit differently. And
Different.
instead of you being afraid of Sally, now you can go and give Sally the hug that she's looking for, the hug that she
Exactly.
really needs. So I love what
Exactly.
she's doing.
I love that.
So before we get out of here, I want to do our faithful freestyle. I have to get like some background music or something for that. So it could be like a big thing. Our faithful freestyle on time. And with faithful freestyle, I am just going to shoot off several questions to you. You answer them with the first thing you can think of. And
Oh
it just
gosh.
allows us an opportunity to just get to know you on a little different level. Okay.
Okay.
All right. So the first question that I'm going to ask you, which is an easy one, what was your favorite subject in school?
Mm. English.
I liked English too. Breona, I
English.
swear we're sisters. We have to be
English.
related somewhere. Um, what about who was your favorite? No, I'm sorry. What was your favorite childhood TV show?
Oh, that's a hard one. My God. That's So Raven keeps popping up in my mind, so I'm going with That's So Raven.
Okay, Miss Raven
Yeah.
Simone. Hey, Miss Raven
Yeah.
Simone. Okay. I'm gonna ask you this one, and if you want to pass, you can. Who would you put on Mount Rushmore? Who would your people?
Well, like
What would
what
your
would they be
selection
doing
be?
there?
Well, on Mount Rushmore, you have the founding fathers, right? The
Yeah.
forefathers.
Oh, I see what you're saying.
So,
Okay.
who would your Mount Rushmore be?
Obama.
It would just be Obama by itself.
Just him.
He wouldn't need
Myself.
nobody else. He stands alone.
um, I'd say and his wife. Um, Chadwick Boseman. Um, Oprah. And I've lost count of how many people I said already.
You're four.
Um, hmm. Mm,
Is there one more? If not, we can go with the four.
let's go with that.
Okay.
Let's go
Okay.
with that.
If you had a superpower, what would it be and why?
Mm, mm. I would say probably healing powers. Because I generally want people to always feel good and not hurt. So I'd probably do healing powers.
Okay, I like that. Oh, see, I'm like, I want to be invisible so I could just visit. I just pop up places and surprise, I heard you. That's probably not a good thing to just want to be invisible so you could scare people.
Hey, I mean, that's a good one too, though, because sometimes you want to just be like in
the
your own space, but still
Yeah,
be out and about. So I get it. I
right,
get it.
right. Okay, and the last question for you, what is your go-to karaoke song?
It's actually Space Jam. I believe I can fly.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Look at you, just inspirational all over the place. I love that. I love that. My mom used to love that song. She used to sing it all the time, and I
Yes,
actually love that song too.
we did karaoke, and I was like, "What song?" I believe I can fly every time.
Good. Well, Brianna, before I let you go, I usually ask my guests if they want to leave us with any final thoughts or any encouraging words. So I just want to give you the floor to do that.
Sure. Mine's gonna be short and sweet. Mine is just like as I always say, is just don't give up, no matter how hard times get, no matter how much work may pile up on your plate. Don't give up. Your season is coming. Just make sure you equip yourself with really good positive tools, which means having a good support system, knowing when to say no, and knowing when you should take time for yourself.
Amen. Yes. Everybody, this is Breona Clawson. Yes. Women Empowerment Circle, as well as Breeeazy Love Shop. All of this information will be available for you in the description box with the links to her website, as well as her IG, Instagram, so you can follow her. well, IG and Instagram is the same thing. I'm sorry, Facebook and Instagram link. So you can follow her. You can see everything she's doing. You can join the Women Empowerment Circle and get those daily tips, get that daily encouragement, get the motivation that you need, because that's what it's all about. It's about us supporting each other. And I love the stance that women is taking nowadays with, instead of, getting to this height of success and turning their noses up at other people, they're reaching a certain level of success and then they're turning around and they're grabbing their
Yep.
sisters to come
Yep.
along with them. And that is what we all need to be doing all the
Yes.
time. It's about building each other up and
Mhm.
not putting each other down. So I just want to thank you guys for joining us today. I enjoyed my conversation with my new soul sister. I have enjoyed my conversation with her. I cannot wait to see you again. And
Yes.
anytime you want to come on and pop in and tell us what you have going on, feel free to do so. But the platform is always open to you, okay?
Wonderful. Thank you so much for having me. I had a wonderful time.
No problem. And to everybody else, thank you again for tuning into today's segment of Faithfully Her. And as always, I want you to show up, show out, and shine, shine, shine. God bless to you all. Have a great week. Bye bye.